let's just cut straight to it. I made a thing that I really, really need. I grow the weirdest, most specific plants. I breed them, I hybridize them, and you know what? After like 3 years of doing this, I realized that the plant community, the plant world, was severely missing one thing. And that was a plant journal for me to keep track of all of my crazy ideas, observations, and notes. Every journal I found was either way too vague, I might as well have written everything on the back of a napkin, or it was so specific and so catered to a very particular person that it just didn't serve any of my needs. It didn't feel personal. So I thought that there has to be a middle ground. There has to be something that can be designed by a plant person, a science person, and could be approachable, acceptable, and accessible to any level of grower. Whether you are a botanist or whether you are just a hobbyist, there had to be something that could cater to the entire spectrum of growers, and that is what I'm hoping I have designed right here. Let's talk about some of those details. This journal will function almost entirely as your personal database. Most of the journal will be this spread right here. It will ask questions like the family, the genus, the species, where you acquired it, certain notes that you have, certain observations, their natural habitat, their ideal cultivation environment, and seasonal observations. I am asking the grower to fill in very specific segments and look at their plant in pieces, as opposed to this whole vague image. And ideally, at the end of this entry, you will have a better idea of the plant you're growing simply based on your personal observations. The other half of that entry will be a blank gridded piece of paper where you can make sketches and other particular observations, including scrapbooking if you're not an artist, although I encourage every grower to at least try to draw their plants to help train that keen eye that is so ideal in a botanist or horticulturist. As it stands, this journal can contain 100 different plants from your collection. However, I don't want to just hand you a book of blank templates. I also want to weigh in and offer some of my knowledge and experience as a grower. Near the beginning of the book, I'll talk about things like understanding pH, understanding fertilizers, understanding soil amendments, and even how to make your own ideal soils for your climate and the plants you grow. I'll talk about things like combating and dealing with pests such as mealybugs, thrips, spider mites, all of those horrible creatures. The back will also have a list of recipe cards for you to fill in on your soils, whether they're ones that you've tried and you know to work, or if you're just simply experimenting, which I heavily encourage in your journal. As it stands, this journal is complete. It's completely designed. I've worked on it for the last year and a half, but I'm not going to not go as hard as I possibly can on this thing. I have a series of stretch goals in mind. If this campaign exceeds the funding I need, I'm throwing in all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm going to add on extra pages. I have plans to have a double folding out page just for garden planning. I'm working with the designer to add in all these extra amenities and things to make your gardening, growing, and collecting experience as unique, cool, and personalized as possible. This is something I sorely need. This is something I think other growers sorely need, and it's a great way to look at your plants with the sort of keen observation as a botanist or horticulturist and gain a deeper appreciation for the plants you love and grow.